What's up, guys? Let's see if you can see me here. Nope, head's cut off. All right, you guys. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of work. Let me lower this. All right, I can see your chat. So this is gonna kind of be a question and answer type deal. So if you guys have any questions about anything in the t-shirt related business, feel free to ask. I am watching the comments here. So what we're gonna kind of be doing is just cutting some transfers. So we have this 24-inch roll sitting here. For me, if I didn't have this machine right here, the rototrim, I'd be having some serious issues, cutting up, DTF transfers, because they come in such a large roll. This roll right here being 24 inches, it could be a pain in the butt. A lot of people don't even know that these cutters exist, these rototrims. I personally didn't hear about them until maybe a year ago. They're really expensive too. So, if you're new to the channel or if you just joined in, say something, say what's up, say hello. I'd love to hear from you guys. But yeah, so what we're doing here is this thing right here. I just created a video making this little stand that actually holds this roll. So it's a perfectly made stand designed to the height I wanted it. It was a combination of PVC, and then the top of it is a copper pipe that holds this roll in place to where I can push it through. I've already got sheet after sheet cut, but this is going to simplify life a little bit, for me, now that this is the type of transfer that I'm ordering. So I have a very exclusive wholesale place where I get my transfers now here locally, and this is the way they come. They really don't have it set up to where they can cut them for you, but that's okay. They line everything up well on the actual roll itself so that they can utilize the designs as much as possible. They kind of gang them up for you, so to speak. I'm used to ganging them up myself, usually between other companies that I've used, and then just submitting that. But here it's a little bit different. This company here, which is called Supreme Screen Supply. So this is one of the ones I cut already. So these are all my designs. So the difference between this company and other companies do gang sheets. This company here, Supreme Screen, they do by design. So it's a wholesale website, but you have to have a wholesale license, okay? So if you have a wholesale license, guess what? Price-wise, you're getting rewarded. You're going to be given real wholesale prices. We're not talking, the more you buy, the better you get. No, you get wholesale pricing because you're in this industry for a reason, to make money, and they're here to help you make money. They're not here to take money from you to help their business grow. No, they're here to help your business grow. So this company is fantastic. I like the fact, and I've been saying it for the longest time, I don't understand why some companies, when it comes to these big gang sheets, they're charging you by the square inch. They're charging you for dead space that you're not using, okay? What do we mean by dead space? If we look at the transfers, it's all that space in between, and all the dead space in between. You're paying the square inch for all that space you're not using. So when it comes to you ganging up your sheets, you really got to be on point with, placing your designs where they need to go so you fill up that space as much as possible. But at the same time, you don't want to get crazy because you kind of have to keep the designs on the grid so that they're easy to cut yourself when you get them. So you want to kind of create your designs to where you can make straight cuts, both vertical and horizontal. You don't want to have to make straight cuts and then make this weird curve cut just to get this one design out. I find that that is extremely time consuming in this industry. So here, they went ahead and took all the designs. I submitted all the designs, and what we're going to do in another video is we're actually going to highlight how to submit your designs on Supreme Screen Supply on their website. If you're watching and you have a wholesale license in this industry, you can go there and you can sign up and you're going to get the hookup. So we're also in that video going to have a promotion code. For those that join, they're going to be able to use that promotion code and get a percentage off their DTF transfers. So today we're just kind of highlighting what they do, and then we're going to show in another video how to actually do it. So what you do with them is you're just submitting your designs one by one. So you'll submit a design and then it'll show you how much that design costs. For example, you'll size your design 13 by 13 or 14 by whatever. You'll submit it, you'll upload your image, and then you'll put your dimensions. This is a 13 by 13 inch design. It's going to tell you pretty much what you're paying per design. It's almost like Supercolor, how they do it. They charge you by the design, by the sheet. But here, you don't have to design within a specific amount. You don't have to design within an 11.5 by 12.25. Whatever the size of your design is, that's what you submit. So if your design is a 14-inch back design by 12-inch, you submit 14 by 12. It'll tell you, for example, I put up a 14 by 12. I think it was around $4 for that whole entire thing. It might have been cheaper than that. It might have been like $3 something for that whole design. Okay. Now that is super cheap for full-on color, whatever you can throw at it. It's the same price. Okay. That's what DTF is. You can submit full color spectrum and you're going to get that all the time. So that's one thing you can do, is upload your images one at a time. When we got down to like little tiny designs, we're talking like these little tiny little chest logos, hat logos, whatever. We're talking like 3 cents, 6 cents, 12 cents, 25 cents per logo. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're helping me out as a business. They're helping me to make money as a business, and they're helping me to be more creative. So I want to share this local company with you guys so that you guys can benefit from them and utilize them in your stuff. If you guys are on the channel, if you guys have any questions, feel free to post. I don't think I can see any chats going on here. I don't think anybody has said anything yet. But yeah, feel free to comment in the live. I just got rid of the chat. Oh, there we go. So yeah, if you're subscribed to the channel, you should be able to comment. I don't know if you're not subscribed, if you're able to comment, but let me see here. Top chat. Let's just put live chat. Okay. All right. So Supreme Screen Supply. Go there. It's got like a yellow website, but they do everything: embroidery. They'll do screen printing. They'll do DTF transfers. They'll do DTG. So look them up. See how it goes. But yeah, in another video, it's probably going to be next week, guys. We're going to do the video showing you the process of how to do it, if that's something you're interested in. If you don't have a wholesale license, I really encourage you guys to get out there and do it, because it does benefit you greatly. So with that being said, got those transfers. Huge, massive roll. 270 transfers, or I'm sorry, 270 designs on one roll of film. Excuse me. So how do we cut those things? Rototrim. So here we go. This little thing, like I said, I just literally built it. I made a live earlier talking about me going to Home Depot to get the stuff I needed to build it. It cost me about maybe $50. No, 45, just under 50 bucks, around 45 bucks to do it. So all you do, leave it on the roll. This cutter here, it has a little ruler here where you slide the transfers underneath. You can see here. So we take that, we push it through, we line it up, we make sure we're good. We're not cutting into no designs, and then all you do, literally hit it like that. Bring it back. It's fantastic because I've tried those, what are they called, guillotine cutters. Those things don't do nothing. They cut crooked. You can't cut multiple layers on that thing. I've had almost 5-6 sheets of transfer film in a stack under this thing, and it rips through it like butter. So pretty nice. It's crazy because as I was ripping through these, before you know it, all of a sudden I was almost done. But the reason why I created this stand was because I wanted to get through these quick. So I wanted the cutting to be a little bit more productive, and I needed the roll to be at the height that I needed because of this size table that I'm working with. I've got a 3-foot table here. I do like the way they lined up the designs. But yeah, so there it is. So those designs are done. Now we're moving on to the next set of designs. But yeah, you're just going to line everything up, guys, and simply cut away. Now these cutters are very expensive. If you buy them new, I saw the prices on these cutters and I said, screw that. I went and I found some on Marketplace. So I found a guy that was selling one used. I guess he kind of just rebuilds them and sells them. So this one I picked up for about $100 bucks, a little over $100 bucks with shipping and everything. So that was a pretty good deal. And they got these designs really close. They didn't leave a whole lot of spacing in between the designs. I typically like to leave at least a 1/4 inch in between my designs. Well, 1/2 inch. That way I have a 1/4 inch gap on both sides of the design. But yeah, they're close. But yeah, I mean, you can see the designs here, guys. This is something I created here, Cali Life. For those of you that drink, you know what it looks like. So that's something custom I created. So those are some shirts that I will be selling. And man, it looks good on black. Looks good on blue too. But yeah, we'll probably pop them on some black, silver, blue shirts. But we're gonna pop these out this weekend. So yeah, this weekend we're vending. So this is why I had to get all these transfers cut, because I've got some hoodies that we're gonna be doing up, but they're not gonna be human hoodies, they're gonna be doggy hoodies. So we're doing doggy hoodies for the first time, just to see how that goes. In my opinion, I think when it comes to things that people buy, people love spending money on their animals, and I want to kind of tap into that a little bit, because I found that there is a market that's lacking for big dogs, you know, so we kind of want to venture into that market a little bit. But you can see as I'm cutting, I mean, I'm kind of breezing through these things pretty quickly, but I'm kind of just trying to notice where all my designs are laid out at the same time, so that I'm not cutting into something weird. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, it does help when they lay out everything nice, but you can see how I can just keep going. You know, I can cut these designs straight, you know, with straight horizontal cuts, and then when it's all said and done, I can turn them the other way and come back with them and cut them the way I need. It keeps them straight, it keeps them perfect. That way, you know, when it comes to actually putting them on your shirts, you're gonna be able to line them up right, because they're cut perfectly straight. And this thing, I mean, it'll cut like a sliver thin, literally a sliver. So great, you know, piece of equipment here. For those of you that do watch the channel and have been wondering what's going on with the DTF machine that we got sitting over there. So here's the thing. I purchased a lot of the accessories that I need for it. You know, we've got, you know, the chip readers, the cartridges, we've got the cleaners, we've got, you know, a bunch of other little things, swabs and all that stuff to do to clean it and get it working. I bought these things dirt cheap. I think we paid like $250, somewhere around that for that one, and then $275 for the other one I have sitting here. But here's the thing, I come to the ultimate conclusion that when it comes to DTF, the machines themselves don't do well without the shaker machine that goes with it. I had a buddy myself who has the same printer, and matter of fact, those are sitting right here. These transfers, phenomenal. I mean, the reason why I got these Epsons right here, they're phenomenal when it comes to color. I mean, we're talking 4K colors. If you guys are into DTF, maybe you can chime in on what you guys got in the comments, but they're amazing. So I picked one of these up just because when it comes to resolution, that's what it's all about. I mean, when you can get close to 4K resolution, your transfers are going to be a lot nicer, thinner. They're going to feel better over a 720, pixelated style, print head. But that being the case, I decided I'm really not going to mess with this machine until I get the shaker for it, because I just think that the shaker makes more sense than trying to sit there and do it by hand and then using these little, poo butt, heat presses to do that stuff. I don't have time for that. I really don't. I'd rather let a shaker, dryer, and then have it roll it all up in one setup. I'd rather have that done, here and automated than me doing one sheet at a time. That I just don't have time for all that. But what's funny is in the process, I'm just like, I don't know what's going to be cheaper, me doing it from here. It's cool that I'm going to have one here to where I can do things that I need to on the fly. So if I've got designs that I need to whip out and make, I can do them here on the fly. I can put a 13-inch roll on that. I can put a 24-inch roll on that. Whatever I need to do, I can do it. What's up, guys? If you're new to the channel, welcome, like, subscribe. Any questions, go ahead and post in the comments. I just, for some reason, I don't know if you guys are commenting. I can't see nothing. There's a little live chat box, but it's not really showing me anything. But let me see. Let me see if it's on the phone. Let me see here. Some messages such as blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so it's just saying, hi, guys, whatever. So yeah. I think personally, if you're getting into DTF, having the shaker machine in the end is going to be what will benefit you the most time-wise. And then I think it's just going to lay down the adhesive that much better and then cure it that much better. We've kind of experimented with, a buddy of mine, he had like a pizza dryer that he was using, and then they came out good. They came out, as, really good transfers. But the difference between what he had then and what he has now on these, the way that adhesive laid down, phenomenal. I mean, it's like night and day compared to shaking it by hand. It's literally night and day. The type of adhesive, the way it laid down. It looks a little more accurate. It's a little bit... It just looks like the adhesive went down a little bit more evenly, so I really like that. So that in my head, that just put it in, in my brain that's just the way you need to go. That's the direction you need to go. So I'm going to hold off on actually upgrading those until I get to that point. I might go through, clean them up, and then make those videos, going through the print head and doing all that stuff, because a lot of people, have been asking about that and want to see that process that are getting these printers. So I'll probably do that, and then what I'll do is we'll just have the cleaner in the cartridges, and it's going to sit like that. So we're basically going to put the printer in vacation mode with the cleaners in the cartridges. That way it just sits like that. That way I can get to those videos. So welcome to the channel, guys. Thanks for watching. I don't really do lives that often, so I'm in the garage and I'm cutting transfers, and I figured, well, here's an opportunity, because I haven't been making videos in a minute because I got swamped with construction, man. I got swamped. I had a friend that needed some work done, and I helped her out and got it done, but it ended up turning into like a month-and-a-half project, man. It was crazy. So I'm here now. We've got, like I said, 3 vending events coming up. We got one this weekend. We got one beginning of October. We got one mid, and then we got one end of October. So they're all different. So we got one this weekend. It's kind of like a camping resort. We're going over there. We're going to bust out the doggy hoodies for the first time. So we're doing that. And then same thing, October, same place. And then we got a car event. And then we have an autism event that we're doing mid-October. So we're vamping up for that. So I've been designing in the shop. I've been designing stuff for the car show. We do have these also that we're getting down on, guys. So if you guys are interested in these, you can hit me up. But we are doing, I have custom license plate designs that I've done. So all of these I've custom made myself. And this was the first business that I did, Knockout Pizza, here in the high desert. It's just up the street from me, local buddy of mine. But yeah, we've got all the California designs here on the plates that we're messing around with. And then we even have, we had a blue plate too. Where's the blue plate? So if you guys are interested in getting stuff like that done, you know, you can hit me up and we can do some custom patches for you for your hats. These are self-adhesive or heat applied patches. So I think you guys will really like that, but we're gonna bust those out for the car show. We're gonna make some really cool little Route 66 and cruising, because Route 66 ain't far from me, and then some cruising license plates, maybe Chevy, Ford, you know, name, who knows? You know, we'll see what we're gonna do for that. But tomorrow, today, last live, I stated that tomorrow we're gonna be putting up my canopy in my yard right here, because I just bought the grid panels. So the racks, the grid panels for the canopy setup for events, I bought those. So we're gonna go through how to set up a canopy with the grid racks, the grid panels. If you don't know what grid panels are, go on Amazon, just type in the word grid wall, grid panels. You'll see what we're talking about. So you'll be able to see, in my opinion, the best way to set up a canopy for live events so you can display your shirts. So what we're gonna do with this event is we're actually gonna be heat pressing live at the event. As people order, we'll make things. That way we're not sitting here pressing all these designs, and then if those designs don't sell, then we're out of that inventory. You know, we can just press as we go. That way we don't damage or mess up, you know, product, you know, inventory. So if a certain design doesn't work, we'll utilize that for something else, you know. But if one design's working, then we got plenty of colors for that one design. You know, we don't use them all up here and kind of guess as to what we think we're going to use. So here today, I'm going to be creating mock-ups. So we're going to have all of our display mock-ups for each design that we're going to do. Today, I'm going to be creating the inside cardboard foam pieces. So that way the shirts, you know, slide onto those little foam pieces, and then we hang those on the displays. So we've got the hooks for the grid walls. We've got multiple panels, but you know, we're doing horizontal panels, and then we're doing vertical, you know, panels, and then we're going to have a front panel that sits in the front. So as you look at the canopy going into the front, there's going to be one that's laying vertical that you see displays, and then it kind of goes like an L shape on one side. So the L in the front, and then it goes sideways, and then there'll be all the different displays there. And then on this side, there'll be a 7-foot rack horizontal hanging from the canopy. That'll be our actual t-shirts for adults. And then we'll have a table on the bottom, a slim style table, 18 by 6 feet. We went with the slimmer table so people can walk through. Hey Dawn, how's it going? Thank you for commenting. Yay, it works. So yeah, we're gonna have that slim table on the one side. And then what's cool about the grid panels is that you can hang stuff on them. So you're able to hang, you know, shelves. You can put the little drop down hooks that you can hang all your clothes on, etc. Perfect for things, you know, when it comes to those events. Keep on it, people will come. That's right. That's what I'm hoping for. I just don't want to turn this into a 2-hour video, because then nobody's going to rewatch a 2-hour video. I know I see people go live all the time, and they'll be on there for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and it's like, I don't know if I want to watch an hour and a half of, you know, whatever. So, but yeah, tomorrow we're gonna set that up. and then I'm actually going to show you guys what that looks like, because that's something that's lacking. Thank you very much, Don. I try to make good content. You know, I try to focus on content that's for the people. Lately, what I've been wanting to get is feedback, especially when people comment. That kind of tells me what you guys are interested in, and then I can kind of, you know, feed my videos based off that. So, like I said, if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to ask them now. You know, that way I can answer them. But that's what we're up to, guys. We're doing all these events locally so we can start getting the name out there. I just bought some new URLs for the puppy line that we're doing for the animal clothing, so we're going to start, you know, getting that website going. And we really want to just create an animal brand that people can just come to and that they can stay loyal to. You know, so, you know, this setup is going to help with that. We want to kind of create a walkthrough environment where people can actually walk in. Last time we had these racks, but it's the stand-up racks that have the little L shapes. It's the big rectangular rack, chrome rack, like you see in a display store retail, you know, that was sitting in the middle or kind of in the front of our canopy. But what happens is that thing is so big, it's wide, you know, so it's like it has all these shirts on it, and what it does, it ends up taking up the majority of the scenery within the canopy. It's almost like people feel like they can't walk into the canopy and see what you got going on. Excuse me. So we're going to create open space in the inside, display on the side of the canopy, display on the other side of the canopy. And from that point, everybody has 9 feet of area that they can walk around. We can sit here and chat. They can really see me working in the back. In the back, we'll have a heat press, which, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. Sitting right over there, we've got a brand new heat press, guys. That's right. What heat press did I get? Well, you got to stay tuned and subscribe to the channel so you find out. But I'm going to tell you something. You know me and heat presses. When it comes to heat presses, Hotronix is where it's at, right? I've been a huge fan of Hotronix. To this day, I'm still rocking Hotronix. Right here, the 360 IQ. Many of you guys have bought this machine based on my videos, based on what I've said about it. I'm sure your due diligence and research. This thing is phenomenal, and this is a money maker. I'm going to tell you right now, link in the description. That's my affiliate link. If you're in the hat game and you don't have this, don't look at the price of what this thing is. Trust me, it's worth every single penny. It's digitally programmable. You can program every single thing you ever want to do with this. Leather patches, flock, HTV, embroidery patches. Anything you want to do, you can do with that machine. Let's see here. Yes, I've got Hotronix Air. Yeah, those are cool. And 3 cheap ones. I like cheap ones better. The air compressor kills me too loud. Right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This sucker right here, within its first job, you know, I already made $1,000. First job, right off the bat. You know, fantastic. But I've never killed hats after this. Let me grab one. The only mistakes I've made with this machine right here is putting the things on backwards. This is what happens when you're tired. You're working late. You end up putting your designs on backwards, but I don't know. Still looks good. But that red and white is perfect. But this is an actual stretch transfer from 613 Originals. This was a test we were doing, and it came out phenomenal, I've got to say. So once I actually am able to dial in settings, that's from, I haven't made a video on this yet, and I will, guys. That's where you're able to plug this in, 613 Originals, stretch transfer, and then you can really, you know, show it off, you know, when you're out there selling. But I have not, guys, ruined hats with this machine. Before, I would get the creases right in the middle. I would get burn marks and scorches over here or over here from the metal platen of other heat presses. Not anymore. Not with this machine. I still think that there's some improvements they can make with this machine. I think the improvements can be on the upper platen. You know, I think this could be maybe a little bit longer, in my opinion. But overall, you already see a lot of companies trying to copy this design. They are copying it, and you even see some people out there using the copies. Why? Why use the copy? Buy the actual piece of machine itself. This right here is the lifesaver. This is the lifesaver, the Fusion IQ. So cool thing. So enough about that. Sorry. But yeah, you know what? When it comes to the Hotronix heat press, the one thing I love about it, and those that own Hotronix heat presses, you'll agree, pressure is everything. Okay? When it comes to a heat press, pressure, all these transfers coming out today. Okay, for example, Supercolor, you need a 9.5 to a 10 on the pressure. 613 originals, stretch transfer. You need about a 7 to an 8 on the pressure. Then you'll get Ultracolor Pro hot peel. That's a 5 to 7 on the pressure. And then you're going to get HTV vinyl. That's about a 6 to 7 on the pressure. And then you're going to do sublimation. Okay, that's about a 1 to 2 on the pressure. Those of you that have those manual machines, I'm sure you're tired of doing this all the time and trying to guess where your pressure is. Or maybe you went out and you got that piece of paper and you slid it in and you're doing this and pulling on the paper to try to see where your pressure's at. This machine costs what it costs because it's a great machine. It's made in the US. It has the pressure readout system. I think personally this heat press right here, I think it's about time for them to upgrade this machine right here. For what you're paying for this machine, you should have a lot more going with it, in my opinion. For what it is though, for the price, if you can find them used, which I found that one used for $600. I think the lady was asking $800 during the pandemic. Her mom had it, wasn't using it. Of course, I had to replace the shocks at about $100-something a piece because those things were not cheap. And that was my fault. I think I blew out the shocks, doing something to it. But yeah, shocks is all I did, so it ended up costing me $800 in the end. But what I'm gonna say is the Caddy, the counter Caddy, this thing right here, lifesaver. That thing's amazing. Okay. Auto open, amazing. You can walk away, do your shirts. It'll auto open. It'll auto open. Blech. You don't have to burn stuff. But this new heat press I got. Here's the thing. I was looking for a heat press for the vending event. Okay. I want a heat press that's 15 by 15 that I can take to my events. That's light enough, small enough. But oh boy, what I got was absolutely mind-blowing. My price, I pay for my stuff, okay? I have companies that tell me, hey, we'll send you a heat press. Can you do a review on it? But I don't really, I'll do a review on your heat press if you want to send it to me. You're going to have to let me own it in order for me to do that, or you're going to have to pay me for me to make a review on it. But here's the thing. Hold on. Let me see if I can get some focus on this. Okay. No, follow that guy. There we go. So here's the thing. When it comes to a heat press, you want the best bang for the buck, right? We all do. So I found a heat press that, and this is the first heat press I've seen come out that has a pressure digital readout system. Not analog, but a digital system kind of similar to what you see on a Hotronix that actually displays digitally on the box, the control box. $8.99, 15 by 15 inch press, pressure readout system, digital. I was mind blown. Here's what I don't like about this machine. This doesn't slide out. There's no slide out. Okay. Can I deal with it? Absolutely. Clamshell. The other machine, slide out drawer. It's got a slide out drawer. It's auto open. And it's manual. You can either do manual open or you can set it to auto open. It's got both options. And it has a quick release system on it. Okay. It's got a push button If you clamp it, you know with these things, if you own these things, you have to pull them up hard or bang them up to get them to open. This one has one button, you hit it, it opens. Safety mechanism. Digital pressure readout system. And removable platens on top of that. I was blown away, okay? I'll tell you what it is. All right, I'll tell you what it is. It's the Trans Pro, the Pro World Trans Pro Plus. This is their latest heat press that they came out with. So this is the 15-inch. Let me see the model. The model is, yeah, 1515 is the model. So that's the one I got. I hit up Pro World. I said, hey, what do you got? They had this. But what really blew my mind was that it had removable platens, and they sell the other platens just like Stahl's does. So how they have the different size platens, this machine has the different size platens. But you're paying $8.99 for the heat press? I mean, come on. Slide out tray, pressure readout system, auto open and manual, and the safety button? And it's got threadability also? I mean, come on. That's a heat press worth buying and spending the money on. So I spent the money. I hit up, Pro World. I emailed them. They said, yeah, we got this one. We can send it out to you. Boom. I paid. The only thing is, some of their platens were on back order, and it kind of sucks because I needed 3 of them that are still on back order for this event. So now I've got to figure out how I'm going to press these things. But here's the benefit to the platens, the removable platens. They come off within seconds, but the little hoodies that we're doing, the doggy hoodies, I mean, they're small. Some of them are like tiny. Some of them are like this big. Some are 5 inches wide. Some of them are like 9 inches wide. So they have the different platens. They have the, I believe it's 6x20. They have the 6x10, which that's the one I got. Right. Oh yeah, it's over there. So I got the 6x10. That was the only one they had in stock. And then they have an 8x10, which that one I really needed. They have an 11x15. That one I really needed. They had a 4x4. That one I also really needed. So those 3 I'm still waiting on. They're still on back order. So hopefully within the next week I get them for the next event, because there's going to be some designs I might not be able to press as nicely having those platens. I'm going to have to try to figure out if they're going to, if hopefully some of these things fit on the 15x15. If not, I'm going to have to, I really don't like pressing on pillows, and then these are hoodies. So it's just making it complicated not having those platens. But once I have them, it's game over. It really is. So game over once we have the platens, and that is, I think, the best thing you can have. $899. And they even give you the slip sheet. You get the cover. So like you get this cover, this slip cover that goes on the top. They give that to you for free, and then they give you some pressing sheets that come along with it. So you get all that for $8.99, and then the platens are super cheap, guys. So I think the platens range anywhere from $50 on up to, I think $100 was their most expensive one. So check it out, guys. Pro World, the Trans Pro Plus. It's the new aqua and kind of cream color or white that they have going on. So look into it. Quite honestly, based on how it performs, I'm going to have it set up probably later today, just to see how it's going. But we're going to do a full-on review of it where you guys can see it hands-on. But 15x15 I think is perfect for events and stuff. It's light enough, and then the fact that these heat presses run off of 120, so you do have to have a dedicated 120 system on it, and then you do, it can run 240, which will actually be cheaper to run it at 240 if you can run a dedicated 240 system within your home. My panel is just right over here, so I might do that eventually, run a 240 setup here. That way it not only heats up faster, but your heating element is going to be even more accurate versus going 120. But 120 is what you should be running these things at, so keep that in mind. You have to have a dedicated 120 breaker is a plus. So yeah. Hey, what's up down under? So yeah, so for those of you that are in the industry, working with t-shirts, working with transfers, again, Supreme Screen Supply is where you want to be when it comes to transfers, but you need your wholesale license. So go out, get your wholesale license if you don't have it yet, because it's going to benefit you in the end, okay? But yeah, let's keep working. I think I'm talking too much. So yeah, this thing right here, it's working great. You know, just wanted to get out here and do that. But you know what? Once you start doing the transfers on their website, you know, Supreme Screen Supply, you're going to get addicted, because you're going to be like, what? This transfer is only costing me this much? Man, I want like 40 of them. And you'll just start going nuts. You're going to be like wondering, like, why haven't I heard from these or heard of these people, you know, before? But yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm building a relationship with them now. We're going to be doing some videos on their shop too. They got a pretty cool shop, and they've been in the industry for a while up here in the high desert where we're from. So it's been pretty cool. Just chatting with Pat over there at Patterson. But yeah, guys, that's what we got going on. So tune in tomorrow. We're going to be doing the canopy setup. We'll probably, you know, while we're doing that, we're going to show the heat press, because I'm going to take it out. I'm going to have it set up. We're going to show that heat press here. I don't know. It might end up turning into my primary, just because of the features that it has. I definitely know I'm going to be utilizing those platins more. And it just sucks, because I could buy the platins for this if it was the newer model. This is the older model Hottronics, and you know, you can't remove this platin. So, you know, and it kind of sucks. I wish they had a trade-in program. You know, they just don't. Or I wish there was a way that they could modify this, where you could send it in and pay, and they can modify it and turn it into the newer style, but they don't. So, you know, but we'll see. You know, I still love this machine, but I think I'm going to end up finding that, because of the style of what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be turning to that heat press more and stuff. But I did like, you know, dealing with Pro World. Very nice emails that they had, and they were willing to, you know, communicate well and just let me know what the deal was with, you know, everything. And they got it out in a timely manner. They wanted to make sure I got that heat press on time, at least for the event. At least I got the 6x10, so I can work with a lot of different designs that I have going on with that. So, hey guys, that's all I'm going to do today, talk-wise. I don't want to keep this on for too long, but thank you for tuning in. Thank you for commenting, guys. Like, subscribe. We're definitely going to be back in the shop, rocking and rolling. We're going to be showing so many different videos, guys, that are going to be coming. I'm getting a lot of you guys that are watching the hat videos for the 360 IQ. We're going to be doing some update videos on some of that stuff too. Just kind of revisiting certain things, and then showing a lot of other things that we're doing, especially these DTF transfers. We're going to be doing that on some hats as well. So thanks for tuning in. My name is James. This is ESENTL. Peace out, y'all. Thanks for watching.